Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're ready for a Dulcimer lesson. Today we're going to be looking at Dona Nobis Pacem, which means grant us peace. It's a three-part tune. Each part is sung and played as a round, and that's the way we'll play it as we get together with this. I thought it was very appropriate for the times and the situation that we find ourselves in now. I would like for the novice group to concentrate on doing the melody only, which means you're going to pluck the melody from the dulcimer. And if you wish to play the chords, that's fine, but just don't put the 0, 0, because that drowns out these beautiful chords if we have too much drone. So let's look at this. Part 1. Part 1 is maybe the most difficult part, especially if you're playing the chords. But let me pluck the melody for you in part 1. Here it is. That's the melody. Now, in measure 5, novice people who are not playing chords, in measure 5, the first measure, the second line, the last chord on that measure is a 3, 4, and then nothing. Mark that out, and instead put a 1 on the melody string there. So you're going to be going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go straight down the fretboard. Now, those who are playing chords, you can't do that because you've got a 3, 4, and then nothing chord there that we're going to be sure to put in our polished song. So that's the melody. Now, if you're playing chords, if you look at measure 5, that's the only difficult measure in this part. 3, 3, 5, I'm putting my thumb on the 5th fret on the melody string, and then I'm putting my middle finger and my ring finger on the bass string and the middle string. That is a really good fingering for this measure. What you're going to do is play the 3, 3, 5, then move your thumb down to the 4, but hold on to the 3s. And then I'm going to put my pinky on the 3 on the melody string, and I'm going to move my pinky down to the 2, and then go. I still have my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the bass string. I'm going to leave it there that whole measure, and then I'm going to put my thumb on the 4 in the middle. So that's not the timing though. The rest of the chords are straightforward and pretty easy. So if you're playing chords, play with me now. And those who are plucking the melody, pluck with me now. And let's play part 1. Now the second part is probably the easiest part of all. So let's pluck. Those who are plucking the melody, let's pluck. Now you notice I usually, when I pluck, I brace. These 3 fingers are my counter, and I was taught to strum like I'm shaking water off my fingers. So you'll notice that my fingers are loose when I'm strumming, but when I'm plucking, I usually brace my fingers on the side to keep me centered over the fretboard. Now you don't have to do that, but you can if you wish. So here we are, we're going to pluck the melody. Now that was part one. Now going into part two. Pluck with me. When we get to measure 15 there, I've been playing that 4 with my thumb on the melody string. When I get to measure, my ring finger, when I get to measure 15, I'm just gonna lay my thumb down there. And then I can go down the fretboard as we need to. Now the chords here are so beautiful. We have a lovely progression. We start with a D chord in measure 9, a slant chord 2, 3, 4. And then we go to a bar chord 4, 4, 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my thumb down and I'm going to move my pointer and my third finger. So we're transitioning from a D chord to an A chord. Beautiful there. And then let's play that together. And if you're just plucking the melody, go ahead and pluck it with us. Here we go. Those are playing the chords. 1, 2, 3. Part 3 only has really one hard measure, and that's measure 23. Measure 23 we start off with our melody on the 2nd fret of the middle string. So we go 1 on the melody, 4 on the melody, middle, and then the chord. If you're playing chords here, if you'll put your pointer finger on the 1 on the bass string to start, and then put your thumb on the 2 on the middle string, this is the way it looks. So I'm not moving my 1 on the whole measure 23, the 1 on the bass string stays. Don't pick that finger up while you play the rest of the chords. So let's pluck the melody first. Here we go. Now let's play the chords. Part 3. I'm not going to talk about the right hand a lot because we're trying to keep the video short since it takes a long time to download it onto YouTube. But let's take time to play through the song, whether you're plucking or playing chords. Here we go. So if you work on that, and we'll meet in 2 weeks. Hopefully it'll be in person. I'll probably have you coming, schedule a time for you to come by 2s, so we won't be that exposed. It depends on the numbers of the COVID that are found in our area that after the testing is concerned, because I'm concerned for all of us that we take care of ourselves and we don't rush getting together too quickly. So until we meet again, be safe and happy strumming.